Hi, this is Claire again with the full moon cards, and this time we are using the Lenormand deck. Shame on us, we didn't have it for quite a while. And the good news is, of course, everyone wears clothing, at least in this deck. Yes, I'm using the so-called Blue Owl. Yes, there is a Blue Owl. This is a card with are the cards with the playing cards on them. And then there is also a Red Owl. This is where you find little verses on the cards, which was obviously very en vogue in the 19th century. So the rhyme was often a little bit awful, but people liked it. So yes, it was like this. We can have a look at them. This is a very classic deck, at least here in Europe or in Germany, where I'm coming from. This is the classic deck. Right, there are some other versions of it. There's also a white owl outside with little different colors, but yes, this is a deck most people use. There are many variations, but this is, yes, a typical classic that is very, very popular still with people. Yes, so let's have a look at the cards I have drawn, and it shows that they are very similar to the last cards. And just a little note, if you want to check my Lenormand correspondence course, yes, I do have a course in English. This is the only one of my courses that I had translated into English. You can have a look at my homepage if you like. Yes, so let's have a look at the cards now, or you just write me an email and I send you the information. I'm not someone who is having like on my homepage. Sometimes the German people also ask me, where is the where can I put my my order? And I don't do orders. I still communicate with people, right? Because I think this profession as a witch and as a fortune teller is something deeply personal. And so I don't like to be in this fast food, spiritual fast food, like economy or something. I don't know how you want to call it in English, but I don't like this. I am still old school when it comes to some things, and this is obviously one of them. So after the advertisement, let's go to the cards. And the first card is a cross. And the cross card is very much about destiny. It is about your vocation. It is about what you are really meant to do in life. Yes, and it is one of these cards that can have different meanings according to where it is laying. And when I am telling all of this stuff, I know some things are taught very different in the English community, right, about these cards. And this is also true for playing cards, for example. And people also in Germany often ask me, what is right? And it is so confusing that this is sometimes so different. How can I make it work? Yes. And I always say, no, it's not confusing. It's beautiful, because this means it is a living folk tradition, right? Like the playing cards, for example. When you have the tarot cards, on the other side, this is very much like a book tradition, right? It came from ceremonial magic. So there was a book and the next book, and they also quarreled. Of course they did, and a lot, because there was a lot of vanity with some ceremonial magicians, male and female. So there was a lot of sometimes quarrels, and yes, everyone thought he was right, like for example Wade and Crawley and so on. Everyone had their view on it, and there were also some things in the Kabbalistic underpinnings of it that are problems to be solved, and the ones, some did it like this and some did it like that. Yes, so when we come to playing cards and Lenormand, the thing is that these are much more folk traditions, and folk traditions are more organic, right? They are more like someone learned it from another person, and it was more like personal, and there were different traditions that grew organically. So yes, it is different, and this is a good sign for a vibrating and lively tradition. Yes? So just to clarify this, it does not mean something is wrong. Yes, and you, when you are in a practical way of working with the cards, you can have a look at these traditions. I always recommend start with one tradition, learn it, and then you can have a look at other traditions and see if they make sense to you, or if elements of them make sense to you. And this you can incorporate. And so your own path with the cards emerges, right? It is not about just putting everything together. This is not how it works. Start with one direction, and maybe this direction will change completely later. But if you put everything in once, this mixture rarely brings you to the goal, right? This is just my practical experience of many, many years and of many students I had. It is better to go a wrong way and to change later maybe, if it should be a wrong way, than trying to have a bit of everything and ending up nowhere. Yes? So, coming back to the cross, it is about destiny, it is about our vocation, how we are meant to be. And this card has meanings according to where it is. So, when we have it before a card, it gives this card a push, like an energy boost. This is especially important. This gets like a nick, not a nick, how you say, like, I think you can't translate it. At least I can't right now. Like you get a push, you could say. Yes, life gives you a push. When this card is above you, you have a heavy cross to bear. So this means destiny in its more negative way. Yes, it's more like, oh, this is hard. I have to go through this. I can't go around this. It will be better later, but right now it's not so fine. When you have it here, it is like the end dot of a sentence, like this ends and here a new chapter comes afterwards. Yes, so these are the core meanings of this card. And when we have a look at it, it is a lot about who am I really? What is my place in the big web of life? What is my vibe? What is my true, authentic personality? My naturel, as they call in France. We have this word also in German, like my nature, I think you would say in English. It means who am I meant to be. Like not everybody is the same. Not everybody is like a cheerful person, or some are a little bit more calm. Some are interested in art. Some are nerdy in science. Some are many things. Yes, most people are not just one thing. So it's very interesting to find more about this. And before you go and run and take a class or a course, or you buy a book or whatever to improve yourself, right? It's very much of a business these days. I have to say, when this card shows up, you won't miss it. Like it's happening by itself. Life presents this to you. It's not that you have to search for it. It's obvious when this card shows up. So you can, of course, get information, inspiration, and everything about it. But it's not like, oh, there is a problem. Oh, I need to buy something to solve it. Yes. It's like, oh, there is a problem. And with becoming more aware of myself with this card. And I think in the last reading, we had the Queen of Cups in the tarot, which is exactly the same card. Like this, like the lady. This means being more aware of yourself. And often this means the exact opposite of running, buying books, reading things, watching the internet, watching social media. This means going into calm, as we call this in German, going into calmness, meditating, going for a walk, shutting out the outside world, coming to your senses, coming to yourself, right? There the solution pops up. We have a tendency these days to think solutions will come from the outside. But this is not true. Solutions can come from the outside, help can come from the outside, and I don't have a problem with this. No, but we overemphasize the outside these days. The inside is like, like you have something very precious, right? And you just have to dig it up. And so it means look inside. The solutions sometimes also come from the inside. I would say it's 50-50. So give yourself a chance, right? Because with a cross, it's a very intense time to do this work and to have results with this work, right? This also means that now it's especially easy to find this out. It's a good time for that. And since last time we had similar cards, this shows like the weather isn't changing so fast. It's still an ongoing process. And many people who read the cards in one way or another, they know this phenomenon. Sometimes similar cards show up again and again, and this means that this topic is still relevant for a longer time. It does not change with every reading. Sometimes it's like very persistent, and yes, you still go through this. And here we see the rods, the whip. There are different names for it. And this means a card of quarrel, of struggle, of harsh words often, or hurting words, or stress also these days. Over-information can be a topic when this card shows up, like too much social media and things like that. I know it has such a long beard, as we say in German, when you say social media, because everyone says this for years, but it's still relevant, so I have to say it. this topic also, although it has, as we would say in German, grown a beard, this means it's very old. Yes, but it's still relevant. And when this card shows up, I often call cards like this homework cards. Yes, sometimes the cards show us something and we are like, okay, this will happen. And sometimes the cards are like, you have to do something. And this is one of these cards. Yes, and this card means you have to have a look how you react to this. I mean, things happen. Good things, bad things, they just happen. Life is served sweet and sour, right? So we have to make a way of dealing with it. And this card means two things, especially two things. It can be many things, but the core things are don't be too fast. Get some room into this, get some space into this. It can be that you are like you take more time. You don't react immediately when this card shows up. Never. Nobody can say, oh, you have to react right now. You can always have a little break with most things, if it is not in medical emergency or something like that, right? So use your time, take your time. You don't have to react immediately. We have this expression in German, don't grab the falling knife, right? You will hurt yourself. So when people are still angry and evil and bad-minded, you don't grab this. Right? You don't grab the falling knife. You let it fall first. So this means let the other person cool down and let yourself cool down, right? This is very important. And also, the second most important thing with this card is that you have a certain perspective. That you think, what this person is saying about me only tells what this person is having in her or his mind about me. It does not mean that this is a truth. It does not mean that other people think the same way, because everyone is having his own or her own head, right? So this is not like a judgment about you. This is not that this is a truth and everything else is false. This just means that this person is thinking about you like that, but other persons are thinking in a different way, and you don't have to take this on. Right? So when we take this card, we have to slow down, or when we have it, this card, it means slow down, don't react immediately. Also check yourself, your own emotions. It's very easy to get very emotional when this card shows up. And yes, keep in mind, and it's good like a mantra in everyday living, not just when this card shows up, to have it like a little mantra in the back of your head. What other people say and tell about things, about people, about myself is just what is in their own head at this moment. It's not like the truth, yes? So when we put these cards together, we see it's an important moment to have a look at yourself, your destiny, what you are meant to be. And when you do this work proper, this card is much more easy to deal with. It means don't react fast, don't take the knife, right? Let it fall, let it fall. It's the other person's knife. You don't have to take it on. Get more time into it, longer time frame, or maybe more space in any way. Let it cool down, let yourself cool down, and then things will develop in a good direction. Yes? So much inner work these days, right? It's still going on from the last reading to this reading, and we will see in the next full moon cards how things develop further. So have a good time, do your homework. Yes, but it's much more easy when you have your rules how you want to proceed with it, right? So don't take it personally, don't react too fast. You have all the right in the world to go slow, or slower than you would do usually. And keep in mind that what other people think or do is just their mind. It's not like everyone else is thinking like this. And it's also not the truth, because at the end of the day, everyone is having his or her own truth, right? Okay, so these are the full moon cards for this time, and we will see each other next time again.